Zoom, zoom.
Oh, watch me go. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
See, this is the problem. I never prepare how to start a podcast.
Usually a hello and the person's name's good, I guess.
Okay, I might try that.
Yeah.
Um,
Just do whatever. Do your thing.
hello, Leisha.
Hello. Nice one. We've got it down. We haven't lost all our social skills, so we can say hello.
I'm so cringed out now.
Not at all. Don't be self-aware. You're great. You're great.
Oh, thanks. We always need the guest to be reaffirming the host. It's usually the other way
Of
around.
course. No, it's all good. We're in weird times. It's all good.
Yes, we're already talking about the weird times.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll skip it, will we? Let's just talk about music. Oh man, I shouldn't. I don't know why I even went there, but we are.
Don't worry, it's kind of unavoidable right now.
That's true. Yeah, it's heavier more than ever right now. I think maybe that's why.
Not just that, the weather as well. We're talking about where it's Ireland, so we have to talk about the weather. It's heavy.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's heavy. Yeah, starting to get nice though. I can see. I'm looking out my window now, and I can see the beach. Like when it's sunny, or even just remotely sunny, the water actually starts to turn blue for the first time, apart from grey. So I'll appreciate that. I'll take the small things.
I've been hearing all these descriptions that you've given of where you're living, and it just sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm on a small, lovely island off the west coast, and it's a place I used to come to when I was younger. Um, and I spent a lot of time in the summers here with my parents and playing lots of music. And yeah, it's been a really nice place to come back to, especially like because when I was younger, I'm a big thinker anyway, but I didn't know what to do with those kinds of thoughts. So it's very interesting to come back with a new, I guess, like thought process or perspective on life, and to be able to reapply it and kind of nurture my 14-year-old self to be like, it's okay, you're just a big thinker, that's fine. And it's a really nice place to be.
Lovely. So, you are Leisha. Welcome to the Léim podcast, first things first. And it's great to have you on.
Well, Mila Mahad, it's great to be here.
Oh, Quinta, absolutely. So, just my host, do you want to give yourself just a quick little breakdown of intro, who you are, plug the hell out of your stuff, whatever you want?
Okay. Wow. I didn't. Okay. This is me being unprepared. Okay. So, well, hi, I'm Leisha. I write and record pop songs independently. And, what started from my bedroom, writing and recording when I was whatever, 15, 16 is pretty much still the same, still writing and recording from my bedroom, but I've gotten to go and play it actually on stages now in real life. And I'm just about to release a new EP, and it's called the Healthy EP, and it's 4 songs, kind of looking at yeah. But I've been writing more honest songs, I guess, more recently, and really running towards vulnerability. And so the whole EP kind of looks at that and kind of what healthy and healing means for me. And yeah, I guess that's me. That's me right now. Anyway, that's a time capsule for it.
Definitely. And I actually have a little sort of sign in my room when I decided to jazz it up for the day.
Oh, Alicia, healthy out now. That's so cute. Thank you. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so sweet.
For the last 2 months, it said Stream Chromatica, but I said, change it for today.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad we've had an update.
Yeah.
Your room needed it. An update. Just for, just in case it's not Groundhog Day, you've changed your sign.
No, we're going for something different now.
I love it.
So if I'm thinking back, I wanted to think back to like when was the first time that I became aware of your music or that I heard you. And I'm sort of torn between 2 specific memories, but they're both quite close to each other. So I think the first one was the first time I probably saw was when you were on the 2FM Rising list for towards the end of 2017, I want to say.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that because I knew Days with the song Last Night was also on the list. So obviously I looked through them all. Absolute banger. Another pop banger in Ireland.
Yes.
But then I remember a few months later, I was at just a little Soleil show and they were playing in the venue. They were playing music and I started loving all these songs they were playing. So
Right.
my Shazam started building up a massive collection and I noticed a trend that they were all Irish songs. And Bother was one of those. This was about
Yay!
April 2018, I think.
Oh my God. Wow. It's so bizarre. 2018. So Bother. Yeah. I mean, shout out to Diffusion Lab. They're obviously, because Soleil is a Diffusion Lab artist and they're obviously
Absolutely.
playing lots of Irish music. So shout out to them for that.
Love a bit of that.
And I recorded it with them, which was great. I recorded it in with Chris um, and obviously Sean was there and stuff. So yeah, that's Bother. That's a fun song. Do you know, I wrote it in summer of 2016 when I was working as a waitress for the first time. I was working in Galway at home. I lasted 6 weeks as a waitress. Oh my God, I was so bad. I couldn't carry enough
Uh-huh. Been
plates.
there.
And everyone was so annoyed. I have tiny little hands. I just couldn't do it. And everyone was annoyed that I couldn't. Yeah, I wasn't great. And so, yeah, I lasted 6 weeks. So people who work in the service industry, I greatly appreciate since that experience. But in the midst of that, I'm pretty sure I wrote Bother.
Was it about a customer?
It wasn't, but that would have been good. No, it wasn't. It was about someone I had been with before who I ran into after a very long time of not seeing them. I guess I just had this kind of movies kind of expectation that it would, everything would just be fine and we would just, I would see them and I'd be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" and whatever. And I was actually met with a bit of why would you ask me how I am? Like, why, I was met with a bit of that. And yeah, it was an interesting conversation. I won't go into too much, but it was one of those things where I thought, why now that I'm not bothered, you're now annoyed? What, like, you did not care before? What is going on? Because you were the one who was like, bye bye. So I thought, because I was 19 at the time, I kind of thought, oh, I'm older now, things will be fine, we can talk, we're mature, we're not gonna go down that route. But that's what happened. So I couldn't. I found it really interesting. Trying to process that, and Bother was what happened there, and it was completely a ballad. It was absolutely just me and my piano, and I didn't have any of that production. So when I did bring it into Crispy Benzer, I'd been playing it live for I'd say for a couple of months. I was playing it live, and it was still quite a ballad that built up quite a lot at the end. But I said, "Here, I want to turn this upside down. Can we figure something out?" And we did, and it was fun. So that's an interesting journey that the song went on to meet you as well.
Yeah. And it's actually really funny that you mentioned you were waitressing because I think one of your first song that I don't know, that I got so properly obsessed with was Mad. And it
Oh,
was during the summer 2019 when I was a bartender slash waiter and I was doing all night shifts and I had Mad playing on a loop as I was wiping down the tables at the end of the night because there was one person in the bar that a lot of people working there found,
difficult to work with.
I was going to say insufferable, but I'll go with what you said.
Okay. I went very diplomatic. You went honest. I should have done that. What am I trying to do? I'm the songwriter. Why am I lying here? Oh my God. Oh my God. Right. So Mad was the one that kept you going, I guess.
I just wiped to the beat.
Yes. Oh God. Well, Mad, that song took a good while to write and like a year to finish. It nearly felt like I was building up armor to defend myself if someone was ever going to say something to me that I would be able to be like, well, yeah, well, I'm mad and I can say this about you and you're not sorry. And, and I've been there before too. It's not just for future imaginary scenes that I was, writing the song for, but um, I guess it was sort of like I was trying to say, don't mess with me because I'll get mad, even though I'm literally the smallest little, I'm not very scary or intimidating at all, and I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be. It's very interesting looking back on that, but it's also, sometimes you do get really mad and you want to break things and you want to smash glass, and I got to do that for the music video and things like that. Yeah, just recognizing very intense emotions, and trying not to have like meta feelings about them and thinking, God, why are you so mad? But I'm glad that it was, cathartic for you, and even in such a simple form. I was trying to make, I again, here I am making it so deep, but it was just something that you were able to be like about in work, and I love that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was. And so we made it through the Mad EP, and now 2021 brings us a new EP. I'm absolutely. I don't even know what word for excited. I wanted to use a more poetic word than excited, but I'll just stick with that.
Sketsminiert.
Tá sketsmini an down arm. Lai healthy.
Yes.
It's called Healthy. What does that title mean to you?
So I called it healthy. Okay, so I started therapy just over a year ago. I've been in it since. It's been very subtly life changing, if that makes sense. As in, again, expectations. I have these grand expectations about life, that I'll go into therapy, I'll say everything I feel in one session, and the caterpillar will turn into a butterfly and I will be amazing. But it's been very interesting, I guess, reframing or redefining certain words that I've thought were so concrete my entire life. One of them being healthy. I always thought healthy was like, I mean, this is part of it, but I thought it was just if you run and eat some fruit, and like, get a bit of air, like you're gonna be healthy, and your problems aren't going to exist, and things like that. I kind of thought healthy was like, all like the weird Activia ads with like the absolutely photoshopped bellies
Yes.
and things, and this is exactly what it is, when really like the word heal is in healthy. And I think about that a lot, and even just the fact that in Irish, when we cheers, we say slánsa, we say to health. um so I was thinking about that word a lot because it came, I wrote the song Healthy, but it didn't have a name yet. But I had the lyric, I don't know why I'm not thinking I'm messing this up. I guess it feels healthy and I'm used to unsteady. I was kind of just thinking about all of a sudden how if you start redefining things for yourself, you can just change it so much. So yeah, I was redefining what healing was for me, and it basically was listening to myself and not, trying to not to look at too many people or compare myself too much to things. And yeah, basically just doing what serves me, what is healthy for me. So I wanted to call the EP that, because I was kind of rediscovering myself in that sense and healing.
Yeah. For what from what I've listened to so far, um, most of the EP, it seems just like a big epiphany in a way. Like that's kind of what I'm
Hmm.
getting. It seems cathartic, but cathartic in a different way to the Mad EP. Like as we were talking about with Mad, it seemed more almost outwardly cathartic that you're kind of letting everything out, but Healthy felt nearly inwardly cathartic, and that you were kind of almost like picking things in yourself to like sort them out, and that it seemed to lead to an epiphany as I was listening.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. And I'm really glad that you see it that way. And, like I said, again, the Mad EP was, I guess, maybe like trying to find a certain amount of armor that will, people will be able to understand who I am, when really all I'm doing is covering myself up even more. And like, it was fun because I got to kind of jump into a bit more storytelling rather than so much diaristic stuff as Healthy is right now. Like I've found it quite funny that I would think I'm not relatable if I go too deep, or if I'm too honest. Um I I was still kind of just grappling with identity and things like that, and trying to find the right puzzle pieces to give to myself. Um and just really trying to hold on to it. And I love the Mad EP. I think I think it's really where I stepped into the possibilities of being a songwriter and what you can do. And I got to do it with Sean, and I got to do it with Richie McCourt, and Richie is amazing, and he opened up this whole world of possibility to me as well. But like you said, yeah, it was very much like it was like a response to what was happening around me, external things. And then in Healthy now, I've gotten to, yeah, I have been looking more inward, and of course, because the past year has been so quiet for a lot of us. So yeah, looking inward is way harder, because then you have to start looking at how your response to external things then is just always feeding back. It's just like this loop of yourself of inside outside, and things like that. But yeah, epiphany, definitely, because I'm just trying to, I guess, figure out what life is for me. And it's funny. I still don't know. I sometimes I'll listen back to uh like one of the songs from the EP now and go, wow, I'm nearly past this already, which is cool. So yeah, just looking at growth all the time. Epiphanies and growth. That's a long answer.
Epiphanies and growth is a good tagline.
Thanks.
If you're selling, I have the Mad EP cassette here. If you're selling any healthy EP cassettes, you can just put Epiphanies and growth on the back.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, this one's all about epiphanies and growth. The other one's about just being extremely outwardly mad and feeling good about it. Yeah, felt good though. It felt good. It felt good to tap into those like very primal emotions, I guess I would call them, and not to be scared of feeling them. Yeah.
Yeah, and like like when I'm listening to the new songs, they definitely sound different to how things have been before, especially even the first single, Healthy, in that there was, lots of guitar on it. The drums were maybe a bit more slowed down. They might have been a bit more toned back. Like, what was kind of inspiring you to shift to a new sound and then like properly hit the ground running with it?
Yeah. So Sean actually had written like a good chunk of the instrumental for Healthy. There was no top line on it. And during well, it was actually probably before we were in lockdown or anything, but Sean was sick for a bit, so he was kind of bedridden and was just stuck on his laptop and just thought, well, there's nothing else I can do is like, apart from like make some instrumentals and just try and pass the time and heal up or whatever. So when he was doing that, he had a couple of instrumentals, but one that stood out to me was the Healthy kind of start. Um and so it kind of just happened really naturally. I was just gravitating towards what I liked. And, there were certain things that he had that I was like, oh, I don't really think that's for me. Try it, see if somebody else wants it. Yeah, the melody just came super quick and I knew it felt a little bit fresher all of a sudden. I was struggling with writer's block. I kind of do around November to January time, I've noticed, because these past couple of months I've been finding it hard to write. So it was probably February, March that I was messing around with the track and coming out of that. And yeah, I just wanted to say, I also kind of just wanted to write about our relationship, my relationship with Sean, because I've not been so. Sean and I are together, and it's been funny that where like sometimes I've been in, meetings with people or but kind of show a little bit of hesitance or kind of say, well, what, almost kind of like, what if you do a Fleetwood Mac on it? What are you going to do? And then things that, what will you do then? And I think that I was really scared to wear my heart in my sleeve in that sense, in case that did happen. Because then I kind of thought, well, if I can make up, a whole world that is kind of not so much myself, at least then if I'm separated from that, I don't have to go soul searching. I'll be able to continue on where I am. But I really just wanted to drop that and write about our relationship as it was, because we fell in love. Sounds so weird to say. Like we basically we fell in love because of music.
Ooh.
Ew. How
I'm sorry.
cheesy is that? I know. I know.
I'm
You're
sorry.
right though. Not at
I feel like
all.
I'm in
But
school.
but that, I mean, I can hear everyone when I'm 14 in my head doing that. But it was because of music and because of like it was so simple. There was nothing else to it. It was just, hey, do you want to write some songs? And like, I'll come to your house. You can come over to my house, and we can just like sing songs. And that was it. And I wasn't thinking about it too much. I mean, I kind of was, because he lived in Dublin, I lived in Galway, and I was like, oh my god, like he's come to college before me, and all these things. But it was just very sweet and innocent for the first time in my life. I wasn't overcomplicating things, and yeah, I just wanted to write about our relationship, and that's what happened. So I think the reason sounds have changed, maybe it has been somewhat subconscious, but I've just kind of I really feel like I've just thrown a lot of swords down out of a trying to like a future defense that I feel like I'm gonna have to fight for myself to be heard, be seen, to feel like I can take up room. I've just dropped that, and the song seemed to have relaxed a bit then because of it. It could also just because it's been again, quiet. But yeah, I really love Healthy. I'm really proud of it still.
I love that like he wrote healthy while he was sick, so technically unhealthy.
Unhealthy. I was only thinking that when I was explaining it that I thought, oh wow, he was sick we started writing this. Yeah. But there you go. There's the irony in it all. Trying to find it and trying to find health again. Yeah. That's funny.
I think it'll sound great live as well.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to play a live show. It'll be so weird. I feel like I'm just gonna have a completely new set by the time we're ever able to play a show again. But I did get to play it live recently.
Oh,
I got to do a really cool live stream in the Workman's about 2 months back, so I'll be putting that out soon. So I did get to play with the band, and I got to play with Jake Curran, who played guitar on it. So yeah, I'm really excited to put that out. It was such a joy. Oh my God, what a blast.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's a whole set that I got to play. Well, a short set, the EP, I guess, live from the Workman's. So yeah, it was so fun. It was really nice to hear them in real life, as in obviously like as in real life in a room with drums and everything. And yeah.
Yeah. And it's actually strange, even thinking back to when you did your last Lane show, um, that now in hindsight you played some of the EP there, but that we were
I
just hearing
did.
it for the first time, and now it's gone on its own journey through being recorded and produced, and now that it's kind of out in the world, and it's been so long and such a different world, even
Mm.
back then. Like I remember you introducing movies and playing it for us, and I'll never forget. Actually, I was talking to Blonde Tracy on her show on 2FM about just some Irish artists that are fun, and I mentioned you, and I was saying that Gravy was about to be released in a couple of days,
Hmm.
and the story behind how we were in Lost Lane, and you said, "Oh yeah, when you're writing a song and you want to say I love you, so you come up with all these great lines, these poetic lines. You think through it, you put in adjectives and synonyms and all that jazz, and then you just decide, I don't know, maybe you say something like, I don't know, I love you, like gravy." And how I was stood there, and won't lie, I did laugh because I thought you were
Oh,
joking.
but I am joking. That's the fun of it. I'm not, finally, I just wasn't taking myself so seriously. I was, but I still mean it.
And then when you go, and here's a song called Gravy,
Yeah.
that's when my jaw dropped because I was like, oh, she's being serious. She actually did mean it when she said I love you like gravy,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean it, but I'm not being serious, it was it's that fun mix. Yeah, gravy was
smash. Just a smash.
oh, thank you. Thank you. It happened. It was one of those moments where I was sitting on my bed and I hadn't planned to write. I was just kind of relaxing the whole day. And then I guess because I wasn't putting pressure on myself to write, I was like, oh, I feel like kind of just messing around on Logic. Let me see what I can do. And I just got a fun little drum loop. And then all of a sudden the melody was coming to me. And I love those moments. Like when that happens, I just think, just go for it, keep going. It's fine. If you don't like it later, delete it. It's fine. But usually they're the moments where I'll look back on a melody and go, God, that was so effortless because I wasn't thinking about where the notes were going. They just fell out. And I was being so lazy about it. Like when I was writing it, I easily could have gone downstairs to the studio, but I was just sat in my bed and I was recording some kind of a half idea into my phone on voice memos with my earphones plugged into my laptop, and then sending that half idea from my phone to my laptop with this crappy phone audio, just so I could hear the idea quickly. I'm a bit like that. I want to be a bit messy sometimes, or just quick and wanting to get an idea down. So the lyrics, I think my favorite lyric in the whole song is, it's systematic that I panic and turn the organic manic.
The rhyme scheme, I'm obsessed.
Thank you so much.
The flow of it. It's a complete different sound, but it's a very Charlie XCX flow.
Oh, well, that's a compliment. I was listening to a lot of her and Haim at the time. So I think they were peeking through and the sun was coming in on my face. And there's just something different about when there's sun on your face. Maybe it's just vitamin D and we're so lacking all the time in Ireland. But yeah, when I had that lyric, I thought, oh, okay, this is fun. This is great. And that lyric just fell out so quick as well. Like when I was even singing the melody, I'll find voice notes and I'll see if I can post them online because they're fun, where I'm just like, it's repentant again. I was like, it's nearly there. It's nearly there. And, but I couldn't get the chorus down, and so I brought it in to Sean and Richie, and then that's when we got the idea down. But Gravy came along. Yeah, I had no idea that we were on the Gravy train at all until we had half of the chorus down. I was on Rhyme Brain because I love Rhyme Brain. Sometimes it's great to get these rhymes. I mean, look at the pre-chorus. I love reading rhymes sometimes, so they're just sitting there ready to go. And I think we were just trying to rhyme with crazy. I was like, oh, I mean, that's not it's not that hard to rhyme with it, but let me just see if anything pops out that's funny. Because sometimes it jogs a new idea. And Gravy came up, and I turned to the lads. I was like, I love you like gravy. Ha ha ha. And the guys just turned around, like, they were like, that's it. That's brilliant. And I was like, it's weird. Okay. And it was when I was starting to get, I guess, like, trust myself a bit more of being like, this is weird. Weird is good. Throw it in. It's fun. It doesn't have to be complicated. And yeah. And there we are. Bisto, sponsor me.
Still waiting for that.
Yeah, I'll chat to them. Hopefully they'll say hi.
Don't they still sponsor that, like, Book of the Year, Bisto Book of the Year? You could be the performer. You could be the entertainment at the ceremony.
What's that? I don't know what this is.
Okay, it could be over now, but when I was in primary school, I remember the way every primary school has that teacher that encourages every child to read and loves books.
Yes.
Some
And
more
the
than
MS
others, but
Readathon. Did
yes,
you do the MS Readathon? I loved that.
I did. I remember her telling me about, good books to read, even though I liked books a bit, but I wasn't the book kid in the class.
I was a bit like that too. Yeah. Oh, I was not the book kid. I was the spelling kid more so. Yeah.
And a bit of grammar.
Words. Yeah, a bit of grammar. Yeah, love that. Grammar.
And she started telling me about, there's like a place where you can go and you can see all the books from Bisto Book of the Year. And that's honestly what I associate Bisto with now, that one conversation. So ever since Gravy
Bisto
came out,
Book of the Year.
I don't know if they still sponsor it now or not, but
that is so cool. I'm going to have to check that out. That's cool. That's so fun.
I think it'd be a great sponsorship. # ad.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. I'll chat to them. I'll let you know.
So another song on the EP, one that I really, really liked, and I really liked the demo of it, was To Do.
Yes, To Do.
And you said you were, like, nervous about releasing it. Because I still am processing it in a way. Some songs hit me straight away, and others I'm working through it.
Okay.
So tell us a bit about that.
So what do you mean? How are you still working through it? I'd love to hear that.
I feel like maybe the lyrics are maybe slightly more kind of not poetic, or kind of more metaphorical, as opposed to things where, say, Gravy eats, obviously, it's very
straight
literal.
up. I love you like food. Yeah.
Yes. Or even movies, or healthy. I know that they mightn't be saying I love you like food, but it's still the message might be kind of clearer from the off. And I'm not saying it's better that way or better not having it, because there's great songwriters who do both. Like, say, for instance, anytime Lorde releases an album, it takes me a solid 6 to 8 months to figure it out.
Year. Yeah, absolutely.
It took me a solid 3 years to get over Melodrama. So actually,
yes,
still have it there.
Oh, look, is that signed by her?
It was a present to myself.
Well done. That's a very good present. You're very good at presents.
It was because of the leaving. I was doing the leaving at the time, and I was like, you just finished it. Spend that
amazing
money.
Yes. Oh, that's a timeless piece of art. But yeah, no, what to do? Do you know what? It's interesting hearing you say that. I guess when you look at healthy movies and Gravy, the theme is love, and it's talking to someone. Whereas To Do, it's talking to myself, and there's not a lot of self-love in it, but it's grappling at trying to find it. I guess, I could look at it that way, where, so, okay, so just to give anyone who's listening, To Do it's a song sort of about, like, very good procrastination. I'm a very skillful procrastinator in that I can make myself feel better in the moment for not doing something by finding a reason not to do it, like Mercury being in retrograde, or like there being some sort of like full moon that's pulling me a certain way, things like that. And don't get me wrong, that's not to diss any type of astrology, because I find it quite reassuring sometimes. I guess it'd be the closest thing sometimes to a religion for myself, but it's very easy to find a reason not to do something when you have that type of I guess that type of a thing where you feel like other elements are going to affect you rather than you just taking a bit of accountability or responsibility for yourself. So I was writing it basically, you know, it's the one song that I wrote in lockdown as well, which is, I was finding lockdown really hard, and still to this day, I still am, where I'm finding it so hard to motivate myself. Even the word motivate is kind of making me go, "Ooh," like, I nearly want to puke, but
So you're not a Normani fan?
oh no, I love that song though. And the Moona version of that I love.
Hmm.
But yeah, I what am I trying to say? I guess I I it's really hard when you're very much in control of your life all the time to an extent. I mean, your emotions are really the ones that control your life, but when it's very difficult to to get yourself going sometimes, especially when you're in a pandemic. And I hated this whole kind of like make the most of the pandemic, like be your perfect self by the time this is over. Write 10 albums. There were all these voices in my head trying to tell me what to do. And it was nearly like this just endless to-do list. And I just kept making to-do lists to try to make myself feel like I was doing something. And I was just trying to get to the bottom of like, why do I feel like I need to be doing something all the time? And yeah, I was just really grappling with, or kind of just struggling with trying to figure out what I want to do and what I feel like I should do, and trying to get rid of the word should from my vocabulary altogether. I don't, all these things. So I was trying to paint a picture of it, and it felt very much like nighttime because I was getting up so late in the day and sleeping so late at night, and just almost like waiting for someone to come, and no one's coming except your future self, either to save you or to let you keep going. It was kind of one of those moments. So I guess that's why I'm a little bit nervous to release it, because I feel like sometimes you go to a party, you go somewhere, you go out into the world and you look around at everyone and they just seem like they're fine and everything's easy, and you're kind of like, why am I the only one that's like this? Am I the only one that's thinking, oh my God, I haven't been doing enough, or why, like I should be having more fun now, or oh my, so many things. But that's why I'm nervous. I feel like sometimes I'm the only one, and that's this very dark place to go to. So I'm nervous and excited at this, to release it. I hope it resonates with people, but then I don't hope it resonates with people, because I would never want to think of someone having to feel that way. But I think it's a very human thing to feel. So a lot of emotions around it.
So it's a real emotional roller coaster of an EP.
Basically, yeah, yeah. And I kind of thought once I wrote To Do that I would get over that, that I would shake it off and stop, start doing more things, and not stop procrastinating altogether. I kind of thought, this is going to be my note to self. I'll never do this again. And I just keep thinking about the song, going, wow, I'm still doing this. So maybe there's that too. Maybe that's why I'm nervous too, because sometimes when I write a song, that's usually about a past thing that happened, not something that I'm constantly dealing with. Mm.
Yeah, it's actually when I remember when Katy Perry put out her album Smile last year, did an interview with Zane Lowe, and I love Zane Lowe as an interviewer.
He's amazing.
And he was he was explaining how obviously when you get to that level of like stardom and fame and success and all that, how people kind of live off of making a song of it in a way. And he said it's basically drinking. Oh, it's my own podcast, so I'm going to swear. It's fuck you juice. It's fuck you juice to kind of your past self, or fuck you juice to say, no, that's it. And she said, yeah, it was fuck you juice. You break my heart. I'm going to write a song about you and make it number one, or that kind of thing. But that it didn't work long term.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yes, it doesn't work long term. That's so interesting. I guess because what you're saying, to me, what it would be like is kind of talking to the wound and saying, well, screw you for even existing, you stupid wound in me, rather than saying, hi, hello, let's talk about this. Do you know what I mean? Like I personify a lot of my emotions and thought processes quite often. And on my Patreon I talked about this. I've been doing it a lot more. It's been really fun. It's been a really fun thing to tap into, like, so there's this guy, and this Australian YouTuber. He has a channel called Struthless. He's amazing, and he talks about sort of the like 7 negative voices in your head, and he's personified them. And I thought that was really helpful. I would have a lot more than just 7 voices in my head, not in a fun way. But like, yeah, like your needy side is just probably going to be like, don't put that lyric in because like they might not play you on radio, and then like silly things like that, and all of a sudden your art is being you like I just try to separate that thought from myself, and I look at the needy person and that is me, and I'm talking to her and I'm saying yes, but we're here to like we've decided, didn't we, like that we want to make art that is true to you. It's what you want to do in the moment. Remember we had this talk and they're like, yeah, I know, but now I'm scared. And now all of a sudden there's 2 of them, and needy and scared are in the corner of the room talking to each other, and needy's like, because this could happen, and scared is like, I know, it's so scary. And I have to just say, guys, I'm gonna keep going, I'll talk to you in a minute. Do you know what I mean?
I love that so much.
It's funny. It's great because it kind of takes away the whole like I am not my thoughts. They're just all chatting up there, and yeah, sometimes I'll say something nasty to myself or something in my head about something or somebody else that somebody's done, and I kind of just ask, I'm like, who are you? Where did you come from? Because I don't think I've picked you up. I don't think you're, or I think I've picked you up from somewhere or from someone. I don't think you're actually you don't fit with my morals and my values. So I try and take that apart sometimes and try and figure out where it's come from, and then I can write a song about it, because it's more it feels like a safer, better way of an FU juice, because it's kind of talking to parts of myself that I really want to say like feck off to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, that's really
Um,
interesting though. I like the FU juice.
yeah, definitely love a bit of FUG sometimes. And obviously, as an Irish musician, we love to support that. And there's loads of great musicians. Just about, trying to think, a month ago, Dagny was on the
I
podcast.
know, that's so exciting.
She recommended a woman called Veronica Maggio was her name.
Ooh, okay.
She's from Sweden. She's great. And I wanted to ask sort of the same question to you. If you were going to recommend someone that kind of, if you like Leisha, who's this? Like play Spotify in a play, I suppose. Who would
Ooh.
you recommend? Or who do you love even? Doesn't even have to be that they do something similar to you.
I would definitely recommend Lennon Stella. I don't know. Do you know her? She's incredible. I've been following her for years, and her and her sister, and I think they're just great. And when she put out her album, it was one of those moments where I didn't want to stop listening to it, because it was at the time exactly what I wanted to hear and kind of make and be inspired by. Um, and then also Eloise. Have you heard of her? She's incredible. She's oh, I love her so much. She kind of, it's a little bit more stripped back, gorgeous chords. She kind of, her music, I love how honest she is in all of her lyrics, but she places her melodies and her lyrics together so well that you don't even realize how vulnerable she's being, but you're kind of just lost in this gorgeous atmosphere that she's made. And she works with Bruno Major a lot, and I've been mad into Bruno Major over the past while and his most recent album. So yeah, I would say maybe a mix of those. I would definitely recommend them, and I guess I'm quite inspired by them at the moment.
Absolutely love that. I love that you mentioned Bruno Major too.
Mm.
Because and I love when you share music on Patreon as well,
Oh,
in those little scenes. Because I loved when you shared Lucky Days album, because I was listening to it around the same time.
oh, that album is perfect. I remember when I found it, I just, when you just make those faces and you're like, I can't believe this is real. Like you have a scrunchy nose and you're like, oh, I love music. And you're like, this is music. Like, oh, how does like, I'm hearing such good stuff. Like, it's like when you're so hungry and you finally get like a curry chip and you're like, oh, I love food or gravy or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? You just, those moments when you are so starving for something so good and you finally get it. Lucky Day, that album. Oh, do you know, I'm going to listen to it after this. I haven't listened to it in a while. Thanks for the reminder.
I love Late Night particularly.
Yes, I love it all. I love I love roll some more. Can I say that? Oh, I love it. I love them all. I love them all. And it was also it was in Love Simon, I think that movie, or Love Simon, or the sequel to that movie. So yeah, I just love it. I'm obsessed.
And he did a great song in October as well with S.G. Lewis, and it was particularly groovy.
I think I remember listening to it, but I must have gotten distracted and forgot to come back to it. I'm gonna go back to it now. Thank you.
Obviously, those are a load of recommendations, but I would recommend to people to listen to the Healthy EP personally.
Well, thank you so much. I love that.
So, thinking back on the EP, what would you love for people to take away from it?
Mm. Wow. To take away from it, I guess to remember that life is quite fickle. We've learned, I guess, especially in the past year, that you can't really plan for much. But if you are, put your healthy best interests at the core of it. And I'm all about sort of like preservation and prevention rather than having to have a big intervention down the line. And, you know, just because you've seen something in a movie or whatever, if you've seen people do something a certain way, doesn't mean that is the only way to do it. You know, we're very interesting creatures as humans. We can do what you like. You can do whatever you want, whatever way you want, and especially nowadays, there's just more and more jobs that people are making for themselves. That I couldn't even have imagined 10 years ago. You know that I would be. I kind of just thought you'd be a musician, you'll go on tour, you'll do all these things, but I get to do really lovely things like this, like have proper meaningful chats with people like you and loads of other things like that. You know, there's I guess yeah, take away from it that you're a lovely human and don't forget that you're a human. You're not a robot. You're not, you're not built to fit a machine that is probably just gonna make you a little cog and then you'll be gone. Just do what you want, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's a gorgeous EP. Can't wait to see it live at some point again. I'm not going to mention it too much because I've gotten too many Ticketmaster refunds in the last few months, and it's really upsetting because
Oh, that is very heartbreaking.
people are like, the money's back in your account. And I'm like, it's money I wanted to spend. I wanted to spend it to see
Yeah,
those people.
of
Um,
course. Yeah.
so
Oh,
can't wait to see it live. Go listen to it. It's out. And Alicia, thank you. Gur míle maith as a bheith ar an podcréile.
oh well, girl, míle maith tú hain, bhí sé seo chódáas. I really appreciate it.